Welcome back to From Nine to Mom.
Where we discuss balancing the 9 to 5 hustle with the beautiful chaos that we call motherhood.
And so, Danielle, I don't know what is in the water, or you're going to have to look up some astrology something, but I'm like miserable this week. And it's not like I had my period last week.
Yeah,
I don't
caught
have
it from you. You gave me your period. I want to kill you.
That's funny. I wonder if people in their lives like catch it. Like, I love that saying of like, you caught it from me. Like it's a disease, because it basically is. But I don't know what it is. And I've seen people talking about it on Instagram, because I'm starting to convert my brain to go on Instagram for things now during my TikTok
Instead of
time.
TikTok. Okay. Just in case.
Just in case, I want to make sure my algorithm's up to date. But people are like, I'm miserable too. Like, what is it about this time in January? It's like a funk of
you were talking to me last night and I was cracking up. So Katie, I was texting Katie about stuff and she was like, I'm just really cranky right now. I'm not going to lie. Like, did it matter
I felt
what
bad because
topic?
you're like, you had just cut, there's another issue that we're not going to talk about on the podcast, but that you had texted me like in the midst of that. And my social, like I can't.
Your social battery.
I don't do this well. And then you're like, let's go to this event. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? I'm like, I'm trying to get out of another event right now. And you're like,
me to go to another one? Yes, I was laughing because then I'm like, I was like in a good mood, but I was like, oh, poor Katie, she's in a bad mood. And then I woke up this morning, like basically at death's door, because I don't know what happens after you have kids, or the red tide basically is trying to murder you every second.
Literally.
And I'm like, now I'm miserable. So then I caught my period from you and I caught cranky from you. But what you're saying, I wonder, and I'm going to look it up, because I like astrology and I was all excited because new moon energy Monday, like
I don't feel that.
Like the full moon, like came Monday, and then you get the new moon and you get to restart. Oh, it's a whole like cycle.
I should be feeling that way. Like I'm on a new cycle, the new moon, and I am not. So like, what's wrong with me?
Well, we're now that I think about it, like we're not a new moon, we're the full moon, and the full moon brings out some crazy.
Okay, so it's bringing it out in
but
me
let's
today.
See. I'm gonna tell you.
But I don't know if anyone else is feeling like this. Is like every angle of life right now, I feel like people are sucking the life out of me, and I have nothing on my agenda for myself right now. And I think that's what's making me frustrated, or like even just something to do with the kids, or like with Ryan or something. Like everything that is on my calendar for the next 3 months is for someone else, or something that I really don't want to do. And that sounds mean if somebody that is on my calendar in the next.
I'm on your calendar.
It's not that I don't want to do. Well, that's different. But like, there's things that are on there, and it's just like nothing for me personally. And when I come down to you, we better go to a spa or something, because I think I'm gonna like actually go insane. If
we could do that. We could definitely do that.
But I don't know what it is. I think it's just a few things adding up, and like work has seemed really draining lately for me, and like a lot of like task work and like back end work. So like I'm not.
I feel this. I actually genuinely feel the same. And you want to know what? I've been talking to a lot of clients and stuff, and there's a mix of like that new energy, like excited energy, and like, oh my God, we're back in it. It's only 2 weeks in, and now it's like I've never been so heavy, and like I definitely have, but I'm saying in a while, I feel like the task work, the follow-up work, the back end work, like, and for me too, like that's like not my favorite. So I'm like, oh, Lord Jesus. But I do think that, looking at the full being,
what did your app tell you? Because you sent me the other day that our apps were like, we were supposed to like
2 days in a row,
going to get married.
Basically. Yeah. They get married, do new adventures together. And that's how I caught the crank. But like, I feel like the reality is this full moon, based on everything, is like any full moon is like renewal, spiritual awakening, like growth and stuff like that. But this one's about like cultivating your inner strength and resilience and getting in like what the universe wants for you. And I think that you and we're not going to say specific like things, but I feel like a lot of people might be feeling this. Like we know what we want to, you just said it. We know what we want to be doing or what we want to be focusing on. And it's probably because the universe is saying like, these are the things that are natural and good for you. But we have all these other commitments, whether that's work, life, kids, husband. Not that we don't want to do them, but the things that we're being asked to do aren't the things that we feel like we naturally want to do. So we're fighting what the
Yes.
universe has planned for us. Like, we know we're destined for good things. We know we should be focusing on them, but we're kind of people pleasing right now.
Yeah, I feel like I want to, like, I have ideas for projects that I want to work on, and I'm like being the yes person. Like, people are just giving me projects and they're like, do this. And I'm like, well, wait a second. Like, what about
Well, I feel like you're telling
my
me that, and then
stuff?
I'm like, no, say no. And then 5 seconds later, I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do this. Sure.
Yeah, you did that last night because I'm about to like cancel this
Yeah.
one project, and you're like, I'll do it, and I'm like, Danielle,
I'm
my brain's given up on it, but it's, you know.
It's
So
fine.
I don't know what it is, but then it also has me thinking, like, I literally told Ryan this the other day. I'm like, I feel like blah, like still on top of it. And I know it's like probably the lack of sun or whatever, but I've been really curious because anybody that has listened to a few of our things, I've had back issues like the past feels like year, but it's only been 4 or 5 months. And I actually came across a podcast where someone was talking about how bad their sciatica was, and they started taking magnesium, and they're like, I literally woke up the next morning, it was fine.
Okay, so I have a very like strong relationship with magnesium because I like put it on my feet every night. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's funny you bring this up because I know we've talked about it in passing, but I am not I know there's terminology. I'm not a crunchy mom. Okay.
I know. So we put the poll out for this, but
it's funny that you said magnesium specifically because we haven't talked about all like the supplements I feel like that we take or like what we do naturally and holistically. And I've been into a holistic medicine for a long time, but I'm also the same person that is like chugging a Diet Coke. My kids ate ice cream last night for dinner. Like, I am not a traditional.
So do you know all the definitions of these? We have to go through them because we've had so many people voted question mark on ours because I was like, I know people aren't going to know which one they are in. So first, you have a crunchy mom. So they are preferring natural holistic products and methods over processed food, modern medicine, or societal institutions. So they make their own granola is like
one of my best friends. She's like incredible. No
technology, no screens, none of that. And that's, I think, for moms, but also I would assume yourselves.
Yeah.
So then the next one is silky moms. So a silky mom uses modern products and technology to make parenting easier. She uses disposable diapers, gets her kids vaccinated, and allows them to drink soda. Scrunchy is a scrunchy mom balances between both. They use a mix of wood and plastic toys. They serve homemade and store-bought foods, but they might have also exclusively breastfed for a long time, but also use medicine like Tylenol when their baby's sick.
I think I'm a scrunchy mom. What are you?
I think I'm silky all day.
Like, I think I was silky with like, for sure with Colton.
Yeah.
Like, I was a silky mom with Colton for sure. And then I think I got a little scrunchy with Daisy, but definitely not crunchy. Like,
so I feel like with social media, it's made everyone more scrunchy. Like they want to do both because I say I'm a silky mom, but like, and I don't know if I said this on the podcast, but I've definitely said it to you. Like, I'm also not going to give my kid a red, freeze pop anymore. I'm going to take away the, if I can help it, I will, but I'm not going to like go out of my way to stop giving up Tylenol.
Well, like, I also think we come from an era of silky parents. So like last night I had this whole conversation with my mom about how I wanted to eliminate, because I think you're right. Like, my dad sent me.
You're trying to become crunchy.
No, I don't want to be crunchy. I can't be crunchy because I'm not crunchy. I feel safe and comfortable in the scrunch zone. Okay. Both the hair accessory and the mom vibe. And I honestly feel fine in the silky until you go on social media or you start talking to people. And one of my very best friends is crunchy all day. Yeah. And she has taught me, honestly, I've learned so much from her, but for her, it's a routine, right? Like, it's a dedication, it's a patience, but it's normal to her. So like her daughter hasn't had a sugar birthday cake where Daisy was eating sugar, like whipped cream from my spoon at like 3 months old. So like, it's just a different, and she's so like respectful of like my decisions, but she does educate me, but I'm never going to be crunchy. Not that I can't. Anybody can do anything they want. I do not have the desire at this moment to go full crunch. But like, everyone's sending us stuff. My dad sent me this TikTok about how like all the stuff in our food from like big pharma is causing all these issues in kids. Red dye is one of them. So then of course I get served 7,000 things about red dye. And I'm like, I'm not going to give my kids red dye anymore or pop. I come downstairs and my mom and my kids don't get pop, but my parents, I grew up, water was pop. I don't think my mom's had a sip more than 64 ounces of water in her entire life. Diet soda was our H2O. So it's a big deal that we're not doing it in our house. And the kids have had sips, but my parents bring it over. Now they bring over a cooler of their own diet soda because like I'm trying not to have it in my house. But what do the kids do? They hear the sound.
And they know.
It's like a flock of freaking like pigeons in New York City. Like, give me that.
Right. Well, and then I think also if you're going to be scrunchy, you have to own it, because you can't also say that pop's bad and whatever, and then
or soda for you Southerners. We're talking about pop is soda.
I did say that soda. I usually interchange them.
Yeah, I'm just clarifying
because
for
I've
my
lived
friends.
in the South, well, the South,
you
Florida,
have,
but like,
Florida.
If
you want to call that.
So it was all So, but you can't go do that and then drink beer on the weekend. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, what, how is that any better or that? Like, I don't really love when people are like, you're scrunchy, but you're not owning it. Like, because I do think scrunchy is you are trying to make better decisions and you're trying to do it that way, but you can't be like, act like you're crunchy if you're gonna like
and that's the truth, because like I'm breaking the rules on every single day, and I think you're right, like that's the big thing. And I also think that if you've chosen silkiness as a mom, it doesn't matter, like, and not that it doesn't matter, people are listening to this, it does matter what you do for your kids. It's our job to take care of our kids, but it doesn't mean you're trying to do anything negative. You're just trying to be a good mom. Like all of us are trying to be a good mom. But I think the crunchy vibe, and I think like that started, I think you said to me in something like that started probably like 4 or 5 years ago when people started making sourdough and COVID. I feel like was when crunchy began. And I had a couple people ask me this year, like, are we doing sourdough? I'm like, I'm not doing sourdough. Like, I don't eat gluten. I'm not doing sourdough. Now, my friends make sourdough and I die for it's so good. But regardless, like that's the step. Step 1, sourdough. Step 2, magnesium cream on your feet. Like and your back. Like step 3, like all natural like, medicines. But I feel like I have been trying, and I think I started telling you this, but I started going to holistics. I'm going to say it wrong, and I'm so sorry to the beauty industry. Esthetician, like, someone who does facials from Europe. And I started back in like October, and I've had a lot of skin issues since having the baby. And before Colton and a little bit after Colton, I've tried Botox. I've tried Dysport. I've tried all these things to try and make me look young. As we know, if you've listened to our podcast, my body metabolizes medicine too fast. So like the toxins, you're spending like $600 to freeze your face, and my face never froze. So I was pissed off. Okay. Like if I'm going to spend $600, my face better look like a 20-year-old infant, young child, but it did not. And also like every time I would go to the doctor for my skin issues or whatever, he'd just give me like, here's retinol, here's this medicine, use this. And then I'd go to like Ulta or Sephora and they'd be like, oh, add this in first, then you're going to add this, but then another skin issue appears, add this to fix that. By the end of it, I have a 70-step skincare routine that is causing me massive like inflammation, red spots, issues, and I'm spending $400 a month on beauty product that's making me feel not beautiful.
Right. It's part of it is like you can be influenced to do so many things, whether it's from a doctor, then you go online and you see somebody that has the same issue as you and they post what worked for them and you're like, I have to use that now, or now I have to use this, and you're adding so many things. Like my skincare is I use 2 things. One big switch I just recently made that I think is helpful. I always use like the Neutrogena makeup remover wipes. I've always used them. But remember when I was getting those styes in my eye? I think it was from like wiping off my mascara with them. So I switched to the micellar water. No eye issues anymore. Working fine. Like that's the only like big beauty step thing that I've changed recently. But I'm a diehard Tula person. I use the under eye balm, the cleanser, and the lotion. That's it. I don't have any other steps.
I can't remember if it was October or whatever. I was spending like, I went and bought like $70 face cream from like a French line. This lady's from the UK and she's like, Danielle, your skin is getting older. Like, let's just face the facts. Like you're losing collagen in your skin. But here's the thing. And this is what I learned from her. So like a lower step routine is good, but also I'm saving crap tons of money. So she's like, I'm like, I have combo skin, right? Like whatever. And she's like, cleanse your skin at night with oil and very little water, like very little water, like jojoba oil or coconut like oil. Pick an oil. So for $20 for a thing, like a
Huge
ginormous
tub,
thing,
yeah.
that's all I've been using at night to like cleanse my
Get
face.
your face done. Mm-hmm.
And then I put carrot oil, which I know sounds absolutely insane, but for $7.49, all natural carrot oil on my face. And like, you know, I've had rosacea, I've had all these issues, like it completely cleared up, like all of that. And then I still was using my like natural cleanser that I had, like, I can't remember what brand it was in the morning. Cause she's like, okay, then like, you know what I mean? You could cleanse your face at night or in the morning, whatever. So I started like just like cutting back on everything and starting really simple. That same oil that I bought then, I still have a huge bottle of it.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's got me into, and we'll look at my face in a few weeks because I wasn't moisturizing. I was just using the carrot oil and then using that gua sha like vibrating tool that you've probably all gotten an ad for, beef tallow. Okay, so like Paris Hilton, Lindsay Lohan swear that they've never had Botox. It's all natural. It's beef tallow. It sounds disgusting, but she used it on me like the other day. I loved how it felt on my skin. It's all natural. But she's like, okay, this is what Americans don't understand about their skin. She's like, and I'm not knocking Botox. If you get Botox and it looks good, lip filler, you do you. I don't care. I'm saying for me, it wasn't going to work anyway. And how do I naturally fix that on my body? And she basically said, like, our bodies, you can regenerate and re-stimulate collagen growth and like circulation in your face. But like natural products like oil reduces oiliness because oil brings the oil out of your skin. Like it really removes, but it doesn't dehydrate your skin. So what we tend to do with products, and there's really bad regulations, is we tend to like over dry, then overhydrate with products that aren't doing the right thing. And all of us love a good moisturizer, I think. But if you moisturize prior to hydrating, you're actually just creating a barrier on your skin. Like moisturizers don't like actually moisturize, they lock in moisture. So if your face is already lacking moisture, you're basically just preventing it from getting
anything else.
And I just think it's such a crazy concept because we don't think that way. In America, it's like more is less, not less is more. We're in a less is more era. But it's like, what else can I add to my routine?
No,
what am I missing?
Go buy the 15-step kit from Drunk Elephant is like what they want. And it's like, and like this is a moment where I'm so glad that I get to maybe treat your daughter or my future niece to these things and I don't have to deal with it in my own household. Like, what are you going to do when Daisy comes home and is like, Mom, I need the Drunk Elephant like toner? What are you going to say?
First of all,
you're going to get it for her. You're going to get it for her.
I don't know. Here's the truth. She already does my makeup. This morning we woke up, because she watches everything I do. Like when you're getting ready with your kids there, she took her moisturizer, like she fakes makeup all the time. And today she asked me to do like, she had moisturizer in her room, like a baby moisturizer. She put it on her hands. She comes up to me and she goes, pats my face because that's how I pat the oil into my skin. So like this bee is already using, I use all natural bath bombs. So she's already got bath bombs, face,
but
skin.
like, what are you going to do when she starts getting to see the advertising? She's going to fall victim to all this, you know?
Yes, because we all fall victim to it. So why would an 8-year-old, 9-year-old not fall victim to it?
Yep.
I think I always say my best friends, I'm so lucky to have so many good friends. Like my best friend Kelly since I was 5. Friends. Well, I love my best friends I've had since I was like baby. So Kelly sorry, Kel, I'm calling you out. She's always had amazing skin. Her mom has amazing skin, but she's been doing a skincare routine, whether it was good or not, since we were like 10 years old. So I do want to get Daisy into a skincare routine earlier. Like I want her to take care of her skin. And my thought is I'll start getting her into these more like natural, because we didn't know what we didn't know. So maybe get her into the more natural products now so that she already feels like, oh, you guys are
she
doing
can be
that.
the influencer
I'm
of
the
her.
influencer.
Yeah,
so maybe
like,
Daisy will end up
be doing.
Like a scrunchy kid. Like, you know, I'm going to make a scrunchy kid. So
I like that.
You know, listen, girl.
If she wants Drunk Elephant, she can come. I'll go buy it for her.
Yeah, I'll let Auntie Katie get the Drunk Elephant. That's what I'm going to do. I'll be like, oh, yeah. But then she'll be like, Mom, you have, because I have Drunk Elephant in my thing. Like, I have the tanning
Not that
drops.
I'm saying it's bad. I actually have no idea. I just know that that's like
a big thing.
That's like 10-year-olds are asking for.
I've been using Drunk Elephant for years because they have an incredible tanning drop that you put in your moisturizer.
You can get that at the dollar store now, you know.
I've been seeing, sidebar, been seeing these dollar store TikTok influencers with the milk jelly. I use that sometimes for like, what is happening? But then I'm like, what is in that? What is in that?
I'm sure. But
who
you know,
cares? If I'm
guys
already
out here only has a couple bucks. But it's so true. Like, I feel like, so one of my things that I feel like I'm not really influenced with like makeup or face, like that's not what I'm worried about. And maybe
Yeah.
that's like, you know,
You're
in a
young,
couple,
you're
talk to me
youth.
in a couple of years
Yeah,
and I'll
add
be
5 years
forward.
to your life and be like,
I'll be like, what's wrong with me? I feel like the kids already sucked the life out of me, but we'll see. So I feel like that's coming. But one of my like biggest things I'm always looking at is hair. Like I've always been into like what's the right hair product or
yes.
whatever. But I've always had like a really dry scalp. I always have dandruff. My hair I
Same.
have to wash. I could wash it every night. I've been really training to not have to do
Yeah.
that. But I've been a Head and Shoulders girl my whole life since college. I've always
Did you
had
ever
to do
use T-Fail?
I've had to, yeah. Like when it gets really bad, I do use it.
I
And
have
I was like,
prescription, Katie, because I have terrible
so
scalp.
Michelle had, I'm blowing her up on here, but like she has psoriasis. She has like
Michelle,
specials.
call out to psoriasis girls.
She
Me too.
can't even, she doesn't like to like, when we go to Dry Bar and get our stuff, I'm getting like the head massages. She's like, I can't, I'll have flakes all, like my psoriasis will act up so bad. Like it's so sensitive. So I probably have a tidbit of that. It's nowhere near that level. Like if I do Head and Shoulders, I'm good. Like that's what's worked. But I'm always like, I should be using something better because now my brain's been trained that I should be paying for all these elevated products and whatever it is. So I've looked at like oils and that, but like it's always just made my hair really gross. Like no matter what I do, like if I do a leave-in conditioner, like you can't even look at my hair for a week because it is just an oily mess. So I haven't found the right thing, maybe is like what I'm telling myself. And I'm like, maybe I should just stop trying to fix something that's not broke with Head and Shoulders. But like, so I'll go out and buy like dry shampoos. I know Michelle tries to make hers. You've gotten, you know, whatever it is. I'm, you know, I'm like, I gotta just use something that's going to work and quick, but I'm all for a natural thing on that. Michelle's yet to make any for me and bring it to me. So
tell her, like, I've done, I think, and I know you mentioned at one point that you were really excited because you tried like a really good brand.
That's where I was going with my long-winded thing there is. So I try, and I'm going to blow it up because we're not big enough to care, I suppose.
And prove us wrong if that's the case.
I hope. But I love Danny Austin. I do think their family's crazy and there's like a bunch of drama going on around about her for anybody that is that into influencers. But she has the brand Divi and she suffered really badly from hair loss even pre-kids. Like she had some condition or something that it was all her hair was falling out. And so she couldn't find something either and created her brand. And so I've been like really wanting to try it because she like talks about how it's like gonna get rid of any buildup on your scalp, like helps with dandruff, like helps volumize, all this stuff that I'm like, yes, I want. But the freaking bottle of shampoo is $36. So then I'm spending $80 on a shampoo and conditioner that I'm going to need monthly. And then you need the oil or the serum for that. That's another $40. Then you need the leave-in conditioner. Now she has a dry shampoo and I'm like, I'd have to buy all this. It's a $400 regimen that only lasts me a month. So I ended up walking into Marshall's because that's the best place to find some of these things.
Yeah, because they're
hand if you guys are looking to try it. So I found one of them and I was like, you know what, I'll invest in the other shampoo and because I got the conditioner for so cheap here. I get it and literally dried my hair. My hair was disgusting. Like it looked even worse than it does today, like slicked back pony because it was so like, I don't know if it was
over product. I think like a lot of times it's just over product. Like people. And that's like my hairdresser and I are close in terms of like we talk about like things people do. And she's always like, everyone just assumes that if something works for them, it's going to work for the guy, but no one's hair is the same. So like for me, like you were talking about, I have had like, or Danny Austin, like if you guys have been watching, you will have seen the development of this hair right here over the last, this hair was like, you remember Katie? It was like,
those are the devil horns.
Yeah. Like my devil horns were aggressive and they're still bad, but they are definitely much longer than they were. And because of my psoriasis, I do suffer from hair loss and I like tried all the products like you were saying. And I went to my dermatologist and she's like, this is something, and guys, this is crunchy, but whatever. You have to cure it from the inside out. So she did a panel on me.
Oh, you're on your way to crunch.
No, but I was low on vitamin D and iron, which I didn't know.
Where can you go to like figure out what you're low on? Like
there is a test you can order. And
how much is it?
Expensive. But also there's natural places. Like if you have an HSA or an FSA, it will cover it.
Okay.
But my dermatologist did this panel for me. It didn't cost me barely anything because it was part of like my
Your yeah.
insurance because she was seeing me like as my
Preventative.
dermatologist.
Okay.
And she was like linking like psoriasis to rheumatoid. She was telling me all this stuff. She's like, you need vitamin D, iron, and I take one other like supplement like that has to be prescribed to you. She gave me all the medical stuff for out like on my hair, like Michelle was probably using. But essentially, like we overproduct our whole bodies. So we were overproducting your hair. And I was using all this expensive stuff too. The one thing like that is true is like paraben free. Like if all the extra stuff they add in like hurts our hair over time. But I started taking Nutrafol. My hairdresser told me to start taking
Do you
Nutrafol.
like
I
it?
just
Okay.
I really just started.
I think
and
Michelle's taking it
so I'll let
too.
you guys know.
I don't know.
I need
don't
to be
remember
more
which one she's doing.
consistent about it because you know my hair is Katie, you've seen how my hair can just derail an entire like event.
I know.
So but they say like apple cider vinegar on your scalp, tea tree oil, like they make those brushes now, but if you have psoriasis, please, I made the mistake of using one of those combs. I let my mom comb through my hair. It opened up. It was a bad idea, but I thought it was the right thing to do because I was influenced to do it. So if you are suffering, like maybe don't do what everybody else does.
Not great.
But
I will say one thing I do miss is like when I was taking prenatals, I had the best skin and hair from that. I actually stayed on prenatals for a while after Cal just to like, and it helped me a ton because after Jack, I just like thought you stopped taking them and it was done and whatever. And I swear like I had acne, my hair was gross after Jack. Like it was so bad. And I just stayed on it all for Cal. No issue at all. I should just keep taking them, honestly.
Just keep taking them because that's the reality of like our lives. Like we deplete ourselves of all this stuff.
Yeah.
And like you guys are in the north. I have a vitamin D deficiency down here. Imagine what it was like up north. You know what? And like how is that impacting my mood? My
right.
Like your restlessness, whatever. And that's why magnesium, like for your back, like you might just be missing like something or like I didn't want to take sleeping aids every single night that I was pregnant. That's how I got on the earthly, like, and I got it for everybody for my
who's taking sleeping stuff? When everyone has kids, how can I like take anything to help me sleep?
Because then you're
right? Like you're like
a monster, like a zombie, and you can't hear your kids and they're jumping on you in your bed. Like both my kids were in my bed last night. Like, come on now.
Me and Ryan always fight when like if we're all sick, we fight over who gets to take like Z-Quil or like NyQuil or something. We're like only one of us can do it.
Well, like that's the thing. Like you can because one of you has to be alive. And then like
God forbid.
The next day I feel like a zombie when I take it too. So I started using because my girlfriend that's scrunchy, she like uses earthly for all her medications too. And you know me, I've tried acupuncture. I'm into all this stuff, but like consistency.
You're crunchy, I'm telling you.
But I'm not. I don't want.
You're okay. You're not somebody that's gonna like freak out if like like you're gonna have an espresso martini. You're gonna have.
Yes.
Like you're gonna do whatever.
But I've tried all the things. My issue is consistency. Like it's a routine. Yeah. Crunchiness is a dedicated sport, and I just am not that dedicated enough.
Well, it's because like at some point you kind of have to give in to something, right? Like you can't.
Like I thought about disposable diapers, okay, or not disposable, like the reusable diapers, because my mom got it as a service. We would have
never, if you did it, we would never have been able to do this podcast. I would have had to cut you off.
Katie, I throw up or gag at I could have never, the thought of never. To those of you who did it,
but yeah,
incredible.
Yes.
I would have thrown up. I would have thrown out all my clothes. The good news
is like nobody's putting that in our poll. At least nobody's voted crunchy yet. So like I don't think we're offending anybody.
And it's not like
And I'm sure a crunchy mom would have hung up on this podcast by now because they were so disturbed by the things we're talking about.
No, because I think that sometimes the crunchy moms like they're just like because like I said, like I have crunchy friends and they're just trying to do. They've gotten burned, I think, by, like, they've had a lot of medical issues or that were not solvable by medicine or they were, a lot of people that I know that went full crunch. Like, I have a girl that I follow. She was a really good friend of mine back in the day and she was silk, like straight silk. Okay. Yeah. She is straight crunch. Like, left her job, got a nutritionist degree, like, left. And she gives me some of the best information online about health and, like, wellness.
Yeah.
Like, and how to, like, naturally take care of your body. I think they were just burned and they needed to find an outlet. Like gluten-free. My family, when I told them I was going gluten-free, I thought they were going to like throw me into the river. They were so pissed, thought I was so crazy. And it's fixed my IBS, my PCOS, my fibroids. Like I would have never gone gluten-free. Like tell an Italian girl from New York that she's not going to eat bread, pasta, Like I'd rather jumped
Yeah.
in the river, like jumped out and like swam to another country. But the truth is like I had to do it and it fixed, and maybe that's why I'm like even more open to it now. And maybe I
Yeah,
do sound
because
a
it
little crunchy.
you saw the results, and maybe that's part of it. Like with silky people, like we just haven't had a success with a natural swap. That like we're like, why bot?
I
Like,
think you
what's
should
it
try the
matter?
magnesium thing and see
I
if it
think I'm
makes
gonna
you
have
crunchy.
to. I also think, and maybe someone can diagnose me. Like, if you're somebody that does this, like, I'm totally open to it because Ryan's trying to figure out what's wrong with me. But I love to chew ice, and
Iron, it's iron deficiency. I
so
do too.
I've taken iron supplements before, and like I've
So
always felt sick from it.
because you're taking it at the wrong time of day with the wrong foods. Welcome to the Crunchy Club. So, iron deficiency,
This
there
is
are
already too
not
much.
all irons are created equal. There is an element in iron that you're supposed to take with the iron. So like if you just go to the store and buy straight iron, it's probably
Hmm.
not the right thing. I'll send it to you. It's like it's folic acid or something. Don't quote me on that. I'll actually post it later. I use the brand Thorn. And if you take, and I'm going to get it wrong because I always have to look up my vitamin D and iron. Consistency is key. But it's something about like if you take it at nighttime, it makes you nauseous. It can make you very nauseous. Or if you take it on an
Okay.
empty stomach, it can make you nauseous. And
Okay.
also if you take it with, I think like something,
So when the frick am I supposed to take it?
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you. I don't want you to quote me right now. Here, I'm going to look it up because I
It's fine.
recently.
No, but like I can like pinpoint things in my life where I'm like, I'm sure there's a remedy, but like if you're telling me I need to go buy like $20 iron tablets, like I'm probably not going to do that because I'm like, I enjoy chewing the ice. My teeth aren't fucked up yet, so it's fine.
And oh, wait.
But
Take it in the morning because at night it can make you sick. And then vitamin C increases the amount of iron your body absorbs. So you're supposed to take it with like vitamin C.
we're on like 20 different vitamins now.
No, but like if you eat, do you ever have orange juice or eat an orange or have anything like a fruit? Eat a fruit.
Yes, I do eat fruit.
So like eat
I
an
eat the
orange.
leftover blueberries from the ground.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do too. I'm not gonna lie. I am a garbage person. And Colton always like, Mom, you're a garbage person because I eat the left like
The
oh, you
garbage.
spilled a $16.99 thing of strawberries on the floor. I will eat them because I know what I had to do to buy those strawberries.
I was humbled this past weekend. So I buy fruit every week, right? My boys were in like a eating spurt for that 24 hours because then they go on the hunger strikes again. But they ate an entire thing of the double thing of raspberries. They each ate a whole carton of them in a day.
But haven't you done that?
Sure,
My
but
kids.
like look at their like little boys. So they had that. Then we got together with Michelle, our family, and I bring for the 3 little boys, I bring like the big thing of strawberries, like not the small like pint size one, like the bigger one. There was like 4 left.
So your kids look at how healthy they are.
Yeah, they're surviving off berries. So now what vitamins do they need? Because they're only
caveman
eating berries.
dieting. Caveman dieting. Well, that's the thing.
But that's a good point. Like I think we've talked about this before on a different podcast about like kids' vitamins and stuff. I don't know what to give them. How do I know what they
need or don't
need?
So,
and then like I don't want to give them belly aches because I'm giving them whatever. But like I also can't afford like
I have vitamins that I accidentally
like
forgot.
ones are
expensive. But I have those. You can take them from me. My kids won't eat them. Okay, I tried because I was like on that kick where you're like, why is my kid acting out? Oh wait, he turned 5. Like this was like when Colton turned 5,
right.
And I'm thinking I gotta change something. Oh no, he's just 5, but he won't eat the damn gummies, or they're not gummies. They're like little things.
Yep.
I remember like dying for my Flintstone gummies, but regardless, I'll give those to you because I canceled them, but I have tons. Him and Daisy won't eat them, so if your kids eat them, more power to you. But the doctor, I took Daisy for her 2-year appointment. I am nervous about like kids. Colton would eat anything. Like we've talked about this with our kids, and like now he's very peculiar about what he wants to eat and what he doesn't. And Daisy will eat anything, but they go through like phases, right? So he said that you shouldn't really have to worry about it. Like vitamin D is the biggest thing with kids. So
I did the drops like our first year, but I agree. I think my doctor said the same thing because they were like, they're pretty okay. Like they do eat you're trying to give them a variety of things.
Laughing? I see you laughing.
So I texted Michelle while we were recording. I'm sorry we've like quoted her so much. She's gonna feel so popular, and
she is popular.
So I said, because when you brought up Nutrafol, I was like, I think she takes that, and so she posted publicly now. But Michelle's expecting baby number 2, and I said, are you taking Nutrafol? Because they have the
pregnancy one.
Okay, so I said, are you taking them? And she goes, I did the postpartum with Mateo. It was definitely worth the money. I said, well, what are you taking now for prenatal? And she goes, Target, up and up. LOL. I ball out for postpartum, not the prenatals.
It's all like, take care of you, girl. Take care of you.
I'm like, that's pretty good. But yeah, she's like, I can't. The Nutrafol I know can be expensive too, but that's the thing is, I feel like all the good ones are so expensive, and like your girl's
Well,
balling
think
on a
about how
budget.
much you spent on your hair care. Okay, so this is what I like realized. And not everybody's gonna be able to afford it, so I'm not gonna say do it, but like I'm saving so much on my skincare regimen right now by keeping it simple that like then I can add in something else. Like that's how I looked at it. And I was spending so much money on extensions and, like so much.
Yeah.
And I just want to feel good in my own skin. Like I want to be that girl who gets on, like I got over the whole pool thing with my kids because I read an article. I think I said this on a podcast before because that, like, those things hit my heart. Like your kids are never like, and I don't think of my mom. Oh my gosh, my mom looks so gross without makeup on.
Yeah,
or my mom, like, it was like I had so much fun like playing mermaids with my mom. So I'm like, I'm never going to let how I look get in the way of like having fun with my kids. But I did in the beginning, like this was like after I read this article. And I firmly believe that. But I have never been the person that gets like, comes up from the water and like my hair is flowing. I look like a drowned like Shih Tzu rat puppy and I'm like Voldemort. So everything on my body is clear. So I have no eyelashes, no eyebrows. Like I am just like, I look like a naked mole rat. Basically. And I would love one day to like naturally not feel like a naked mole rat. So I'm like, all right, I'll spend the money trying to fix the actual situation instead of Band-Aid fixing it for right now. But it's it's commitment because the Band-Aid fix is so good. Guys, if you have extensions or have never, you feel like a freaking Victoria's Secret goddess. Even if you just rolled out of bed postpartum, like I did, diaper on, you were like, toss.
But look at my
Glinda.
Hair. Yes,
like,
right.
I'm magic. Like it was the best. So now it's like hard, but I am trying to do it because I'm like someday
you want to feel good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I want to age gracefully. And I'll get. Don't worry, guys. In like 6 months, I'll have extensions, but I'll fix my hair first.
She's going later for Botox and the extensions back.
No, because Botox doesn't work. My friends look like little babies. I love them.
So someone wrote in our poll, I asked like, what's the best thing you've been influenced to buy? And someone put Botox.
Oh, my friends, like I'm telling, they look like it's an incredible gift if it works.
I just don't like needles. Like I don't think I can do it.
They're very small, but yeah, if you don't like needles, and that's the thing, like, and it's maintenance. So like it's time, money, and I know all of us feel this way. I was just talking to my dad about this. We went out for a work meeting, and we ended up on the topic of like motherhood and working. Like obviously that happened. It's just hard because we give up so much as moms to give to our kids. Like my mom did for me now. I see it like the drunken elephant conversation. Like I'm going to give to my kids before I give to myself and within a reason, but also like we give up all these things that make us feel good, but it's also because they're so damn expensive. Like, and you got to pick the one thing. Like even the girl I followed, I know I've talked about her before with you, but I don't think I've ever mentioned her on the podcast. Erin Sky Kelly, has like a program on like getting out of debt and saving for your future. And one of her things is like, if it's the Starbucks that makes you feel alive, like you don't give up the Starbucks. If it's the hair, if it's the Botox, like that one thing, like that's going to make you feel alive, you do it, but you can't do. And I think that's a problem with all the standards in the beauty industry and our bodies changing and us trying to grasp at straws. We can't afford everything. We don't have monetarily or time-wise. Like I can't just keep adding shit to my everyday routines because I'm going to have to start like, I can't even sell feet pics at this point, I don't think, because my feet aren't as pretty as they used to be. You're going to have to start
putting the Botox in the feet.
Right?
Prevent the wrinkles in the feet and go from there. I think too, like, I don't know. I've always been, I don't know, like I would be, maybe I haven't hit the point where I'm like, I need to do all of that, but I don't know. I've always been like, I'm not like a super confident person, but I'm like cool with the way I am.
Yeah, I've always struggled. I've always been confident about my insides, but not always my outsides. And I think I got way more confident after, which is so weird. But like, because my body was banging back in the day and I didn't know. Like, I'm like, you idiot.
You could just tell yourself.
Well, and that's
shake
like,
them.
And everyone said that to me, but now that's why I try not to be so hard on myself because I'm going to be 80 one day and my tits are going to touch my toes and I'm going to be like, remember those beautiful boobs I had that I complained about?
We'll definitely have boob jobs by then.
Yeah, 100%. Yes, that's accurate. We will have boob jobs by then.
Yeah,
but so in the meantime,
see,
I'm not crunchy because I'm definitely going to get a boob job. No, I'm going to get a reduction. This would be the greatest day of my life. Not really. My kids.
That's what I'm saying. That'd be fine.
Yeah,
there will be no hang.
Nothing. But like don't appreciate what you have until it's gone. And I think after babies, I was like, look what my body, like it gave me a weird, like, look what my body did.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that was like, I know what I went through. Like, so you can think I'm ugly, but I think you're dumb because
Right.
I was a
You
freaking
got your
vagina
man.
warrior.
Yeah, you got your man, you
Yeah.
got your kids. Like, who else
And
do
I
you need
got
to impress?
fantasy smut books. Like, I look like that girl, obviously, that
Yeah,
I'm reading
wait,
about
can we
right now.
talk about the book quick? Can
Before
we
we
do
hop
it?
off.
So let's do a premise here. I know you don't care if I spoil some things, but like
Yeah.
if you haven't read, if you're in the book club and you haven't started reading, you might want to like drop off now. But I'm gonna go into some of the books. So for anyone that started, the book is kind of split up, not chapter based, it's like by days for the wedding. So it's Tuesday, it starts on a Tuesday and it goes through the entire wedding. I'm struggling.
Yeah.
It's a very depressing book if anybody has started. It starts out that she's going to commit suicide and she went to this hotel where there's a wedding and she plans to off herself there.
So I started reading it and then stopped like reading it because my kids won't let me read it. So, because like I told you, I'm going to have to
Naturally.
sit in a dark room. So you've read a lot more than I have. And your response to this book, like, guys, I've been talking to Katie, like, is not positive. Like, and I think it might be one of the things that's rubbing off on you.
I truly think it is. Like, I don't, like, I can't read
I
books
don't want
like
you to
this.
read it if it's bad for your well-being. But I feel like you need to finish it.
If you give me an out, I will take it.
You
But
got to
like,
finish it.
I'm going to finish it because I have to. But like, I just am like, and I know it's going to take a minute because I have not read a book literally in 10 years, guys. But like, I have to figure out what I like and because I couldn't even tell you what I would want to read right now. But
but if you're listening,
that
I'm
this
curious.
gets better. I don't know. I heard
want to
it
know
gets
what
better.
other people say because this has raving reviews.
So I talked to one of the girls that's in the club with us last night. We were over and had a play date with her, and she said the same thing. She's like, it's really depressing, but like, she's like, I've read books like this before where like it's this, but then like there's a lesson or like there's something in this, all of it. But it also seems very, and I haven't finished it so I'm not giving any like end spoilers, but it seems like I already know what's going to happen. She went there. She already did. She was planning on killing herself the first night. She didn't. The bride came and talked, like somehow came to her room
Like
and
a
saved her.
redemption,
And now like she's gonna whatever. And now we're like, and we both were like, I bet you by when we get to Saturday in the book, she'll be at the wedding or something, you know, and like it'll be something like that. So I'm like, okay, she's like not, but like there's fertility stuff that they talk about in it as well. So like that's also like a trigger thing. Not that she's like talking about loss, she just like couldn't get pregnant. And then, so that's like, she went through like so many IVF stuff. Like, it's just like, why am I like, this is supposed to be the hour I'm enjoying myself, like for myself. And I don't really feel like,
well, and that's the thing,
enjoying
like,
myself.
Part of this book club in general, and for you, like one of the things you want to get out of it was to figure out what you do like to read. So this might just be too deep of a novel for you.
Yeah,
like,
we need
not in
like
a bad
really.
Way. Like,
maybe I just like, I would want smut. I think that's like, that's
and
what
the
we have
smut
to.
sometimes has stories, and that's where you have to know your author. Like some of the authors, like Colleen Hoover, like if you read a Colleen Hoover book, it's like like
wait, so like
stuff.
Is Colleen the one? It ends with us. I haven't watched the movie, so this is another spoiler.
I don't think you
is it like domestic violence type of deal?
Yes.
Okay,
it's
so
a beautiful story, but
so I didn't know that. I was thinking it was all smut, and I was like, maybe I could read that.
There's beautiful smut in it, but it's not.
I read all of 50 Shades of Grey. Those are probably the last books I read.
Well, 50 Shades of Grey, it was like a domination thing. Like it was a sex kink. Okay, it wasn't like.
But there was still romance and like.
Yeah, but like it was mostly like steamy. Yeah. Even though we know that we should never be placed into a red room of pain, all secretly we wanted to be in the red room of pain.
We kept all reading.
Like we just kept going. So it's like that was a book that was like, yes, it had some dark stuff, but it wasn't like stuff that we relate to. I feel like you're saying like,
it was further enough away.
Depression,
yes.
Relationships, like that's very close. Domestic abuse. We've all probably had somebody in our lives like that have been like, I couldn't finish the show. Someone told me to watch the show Made, and I watched the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Katie, I will never watch it. Like I just couldn't stop crying and Googling like domestic shelters to volunteer at. Like it broke me. Like, and people are like, but it's so good. I couldn't. It wasn't good for my mental health. You did? It's not good for my mental health.
The clips on TikTok, and it makes me depressed every time.
But like that's where I'm like it was dumb for me to read it then.
Yeah, like you can't. And I think that's what I'm like struggling with. Like the whole point of reading a book is I want to do something for myself and like have a little me time or like distract my brain and not be on like TikTok or whatever. But I'm like, I don't want to do it for
Well, I think we put the
Like, I
poll
don't
out
know.
there to see, like, what if you don't like this, like, if you're not enjoying this book, what kind of books have you liked?
Yeah.
Because you might like more of the, like, I did, like Janet Evanovich for a while, like more true crime. Like, I know you're not a thriller person, but like, or rom com, like a funny book. Like, there are some very funny romantic comedies out there, like that you
I
can
might like
read that
something
are
like
light.
that.
And I think you
Yeah.
would
I
like
think I
that.
need
Emily Griffith,
a
Shopaholic.
light love story right now would be great. And
So I
yeah,
will give you some. Well, when we post books, guys, we're already making the call. We're gonna do a light rom com for February. It's
for my
Valentine's
sake.
Day. Valentine's Day. I'll give
Yeah.
3 good light options that we haven't read yet.
Yes.
No, like depressing past or like there's gonna
Please.
be something, we can't guarantee it, but like I'll try and find one that's based more lightly around
Like that the
funny.
first page isn't talking about how she is got divorced and is like gonna kill herself with cat painkillers. Like
That's
and then
tough.
I'm like, who's liking this book? Are you guys okay?
Well, I will say one of my favorite books, we talked about this at work, and sorry, we're going really long today, but we have a lot to say. The Midnight Library started very similar to the book we're reading now, and it like changed my like perspective on life. Honestly, like my entire perspective. And I don't want to give it away in case somebody wants to read it, but like the way I viewed life, like I'm always like a what if person, or like I sit in anxiety silently, like about things I did or didn't do until I do something else that like makes me start thinking the same, like it's like a series of things. And I did that for so long. And that book really like made me look at life differently, but it was not it was a happy ending, but it wasn't a happy book.
Okay.
And I do think that like there are times in life where like you might need that. But like right now, like especially if you're already feeling like cranky and like you're not caring, and now this is supposed to be for yourself, like this book might not be good for you right now. There's genre, and that's why we always switch, like I switch genres up all the time, because like I was reading Colleen Hoover and I love her, but it was getting dark for me. It was getting too dark. Like
I feel like you would have to, and I think maybe that's something we need to set out within this, and that's why I do think I'm gonna like some of the, like I want to read like the Situations book. I think I might like some stuff like that where I'm like, because I do really like pop culture. I like.
But he has some like addictions. Like you might not want to read that next.
No, we need to do the lighthearted, like something fun, and be like, and I can like breeze through it. I will say I'm doing really good on our timing here. I'm halfway through the book already.
I'm so proud of you. You are way ahead of me, but I will finish.
I was actually gonna, and I should have posted it. I know we're going so long, but like
whatever. If you're still listening, good for you. If not, we're just talking.
Yeah. I have started a routine because you know me, like I have to have something. But me and I don't know if maybe some people feel like this. So with 2 kids, Ryan and I usually each put one of the kids to bed, and it's not really out of like we're trying to be fair. It's more like we both just like to switch every night, and like one of us doesn't like to put down both kids, and the other like which is what
we do the same thing.
And but we had some sleep regressions over the weekend with both children, and for whatever reason, it went 3 nights in a row. Whichever kid I put to bed was the one that was waking up.
Great.
And then, so Ryan finally was like, Katie, I'm putting Cal to bed because he's the worst one to wake up. Like Jack is, fine. So I was like, I'm going to put him to bed, which works out good for me because Jack just wants to chill and watch his movie. He's watched Bolt on repeat like 5 times.
Great.
So that's what we're watching right now. So now, and now Jack wants to lay in our bed. So we just lay in bed. He watches Bolt and I've been reading. And so it's time for him to go to bed. You know what?
That's great because you both are getting your time. You're together. Like
we're
you're getting that,
in the bed.
You're getting that little like lovey time.
But I miss my Cal, but like.
That is the hard part. Like
bro needs to sleep.
My kids
you have to accept that like they need something else right now. Like I'm too fun for bedtime right now for him. So
well, and that was like our big problem. Daisy, all the kids want me to put them to bed, and it's not because they don't love Jordan. It's because I'm more fun at nighttime. I read, I play games, I do whatever.
Let them stay up a few more minutes.
So like now, Colton's got a good routine. I go in there, we read a book, and then we watch one art video after because he's into chapter books. We just finished Captain Underpants and the Talking Toilet.
Oh, those were my jam when I was little.
I never read them. They're so good.
Yeah.
I obviously love to read, but my genre right now is children's books.
So
top red, my zombie goldfish. Good youth record.
That's true. I do read. I have read a book the last time.
Yeah, like
Mama book by Jimmy Fallon.
The book that my kids love to read. I can't remember who got it for me. It might have been Nicole, but like it's a book about how not to take care of your baby, and the kids think it's so funny because you put the baby in the washer. I'm reading a lot of that.
That's a cute one.
But Daisy would always stay up with me because I wanted her to. Like, I wanted a friend.
Yeah.
I wanted a pal. But now she's into me rocking her and then going to bed. So, like, we switch on and off. But last night, my mom was here. Jordan was golfing. And she was I mean, I'm talking, I have a timestamp video, 8:45, zoomies around the kitchen. But then she just, like, passed out. So, yeah,
like, get it
I'm
out,
like,
girl.
you know what? Run.
Scream, whatever you want.
Go.
Let's go. Mm-hmm.
But you do, like, have to, like, find what your routine is. And
Yeah.
I'm not a routine person, but routine has changed. Like, my kids like having that nighttime routine has really changed. And it gives us, like you're saying, time back to both of us because kids like routine, man. They like routine, and it's good for us too.
Love it. I know.
But,
so right now it's working, but I need a better book. So that's our book recap right now. Maybe we'll add a few of these in the next couple of weeks. Like at the end.
So if you like the end, so if you want to stay on the last 15 minutes,
I'll timestamp the episode so that
Great.
everyone can end it or skip to it. I don't know.
But don't let it deter you from reading the book because we need to know if
let's leave this with like positive mindset.
Energy.
Let's manifest. This is why I can
vision
do
board.
motivation. I sound so freaking
well, can you, if you're watching, how do I get like it to, it's not, okay guys, it's going to be all right. I just work in the field, but it's a different camera.
Oh,
there's my vision board. Okay. So
you got it.
Like manifest the life you want, the positive attitude you want. We get to do these things, not we have to do these things. And kick like a few punch a wall if you need to at the same time, but just try and like find that inner peace.
We're in a zen. We're
zenning out. We're trying new things.
I have to go film a webinar now.
Yes, I will be there. But with that, we're gonna clock out and clock back into the 9 to 5.
We'll see you guys next time.
Bye, boy.